I'm Dawn Michelle, and this is Makeup or Breakup Blog. Today, I want to just do a little look. You want to see how I got this done? Stick around, and I'll show you how. This will be a little bit of a rambling video. I don't know. I have to do some heavy editing, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, this is just something I just decided to just pull some random stuff out, shop my stash, so to speak. So I guess that's the kind of video it's going to be. There's some new products here, some older products here, some products that have shown themselves on my channel, some time ago. And yeah, I just decided, let's play with makeup today. I'm feeling a little distracted, a little needing to bring myself grounded and to the present. So this is my self-therapy, my form of self-care, which is to take a moment, pull out some makeup, skincare, hair care brands, just like. So without further ado, let's jump in. So it just sent me down memory lane about the trends and looking at my makeup and my stash of eyeshadows, blushes, and eyeliners, and different types of eyeliners, from the powder to the gel to the pencil. It's amazing how your journey, or at least my journey in makeup, can be seen, can be viewed in such a, like a small window through these, cabinets that I have, these little like drawers where all this makeup has been put. Each time I review it, or I'll try it out. So it's just been interesting. I don't have any makeup on. I literally only have cleansed my face. I put a little moisturizer, a little SPF, and call it a day. So what you see is what you get. Now, the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, yes, I did go and order some stuff. So I can't wait to share that with you when I get it. I won't be getting it for at least a couple of days, but that's okay. The sale goes on. I'll put the dates here. I know pocketbooks can tend to be tight. I know mine is. These are things I just could not resist. And some things I've been staring at for like well over a year that I've heard other makeup beauty influencers like Marlena Stell talk about these particular products, some of them. So I'm holding, my breath a little bit, going, okay, better now, because when you get certain brands that are being featured with the products, it'll be at least 50%, like literally price cut in half. So if something costs $50 normally, you'll get it for $25, or even, or if something's $75, then you know what I mean? It's sort of like, oh, this is great. It's that time of year where you can try things. And if you have a card with Ulta, you can, pay in installments, and it's okay as long as you stay on top of the payments. But it's like that whole like payment plan. The only temptation I have about the 21 days is that you can easily rack up a ton of money for your products. So you have to, at least for me, I have to really think and be really decisive and clear on what exactly it is I want to get and why. So I will be talking about that. That's a future video. Without further ado, I'm just gonna start with my makeup. I have this brand. I've had it for a while. I don't know if they make this anymore, but this is one of those rollers, that you put under here to, wake up your eyes if you're feeling a little, too puffy, or you just need to. It has like a, I don't know if I can show you this little, like, see that? So what I do is I do this just to get it rolling, and it gives me a sort of cooling effect. I know I've been remiss to go and get my eyebrows done, so I do apologize for for that. If you're seeing stray hairs, that's the reason why. Just to refresh this, to refresh the skin and perk it up. This is the coconut mist from Elf. Just love the way it smells. I've gone through several bottles of these. This is perfect like on a hot summer day, or if you're feeling just a little dry. This feels so nice, and the price is nice too. There it is. Okay, so this has been my late obsession. This is the Lys foundation stick. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. LYS. I very reminiscent of the Hourglass foundation stick in that sense, but a heck of a lot cheaper. I think. I'm not sure. I'll put the price tag up. This list is not. I wouldn't say it's drugstore. It's slightly less, but so creamy, so delicious. I just want to make sure. So I'm sitting here talking. I'm just asking a question. Have you? I don't know. Oh, here's my Eco Tools biodegradable makeup sponge, which I've talked about and praised. Love the idea. Have you ever had like a song? Yeah, they call it like a earworm, like play in your mind over and over again, or just a random song you're like, where did this song come from? Yeah. So that has been my obsession. That I want to say, I guess it's an obsession, right? That you suddenly there's a song that's playing in your head, and you're like, wow, I haven't heard that song in a while. Like, I wonder what happened to that band. I wonder what happened to that performer. Or you do know what happens to them, and you just feel like, oh, you missed hearing that music, or you missed that performer, and yeah, it just feels like that's where I'm going towards. I'm just feeling very sentimental, and I may have to do with the fact that we are in New York City, nevertheless, going through a change in the weather. We're going from hot 80, 90 humidity, 89-degree temperatures, and now we're looking at 60 and 70, which feels absolutely cold compared to 80, 90 humidity. Now we're at, with 89-degree temperatures Fahrenheit, to barely making it into the 60s, which the sun is setting. I've mentioned this sooner, so I'm just obsessed with this foundation. And I know we've overused the term iconic, obsessed, blah blah blah, but I feel this is like this is the hit for 2025. I mean, we're going into, this is already September 1st as I'm filming this, so that's one of my top 5 for foundations that I have seen. And it's funny because I mentioned this a few months ago. I don't know if I can remember where I mentioned it, like what the trend was going to be. Maybe on my video coming into 2025, that I felt that the trend was going to be foundation sticks. And for me, this one is creamy without feeling greasy. Oh, look at that. And that's just, yep, very pretty. Very, very pretty. Okay. Now, this is some RMS Beauty. This is fairly new. This is a concealer, and it's sort of like a smoke glass jar. I like this, even though I'm covered here for the most part. I like to go in, like, look at that. And I don't use the same finger. And when I do use these fingers, the hand, the fingers, the nails, the fingernail, all clean. I don't like putting dirty hands in things, not if I can help it. Finally. There we go. All right. So I love it. I really do. Why? Because it brightens and it just has this nice coverage. I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to use this Couture. I think it's called Culture Couture. There we go. I'll use the brush on this eye right here. I'll use this. Oh wow. This looks really pretty, right? I guess I could use this so you can see the difference. So yeah, the subject of earworms has come up. What song? Let me know in the comments below. Has there been a song, like maybe from your childhood or from your teen years, or, you know, in your recent, even distant past, where you were like, suddenly you hear it and it just transports you back to that time, or at least to how you were feeling, what your mindset was at that time. Do you even remember what it felt like to be 10 years old? Let me know in the comments below. Here it is. My Lip Smackers Hello Kitty collab, which I featured here not that long ago. I'll post that video somewhere here, or at the end of the video. Because I need something to prep. Which is interesting because with the weather changing, and I know, I shouldn't, do anything, but I'm always biting them, and it's a nervous habit I picked up as a child. Never truly, completely shook it. And I'm saying, it's always good to take care of your skin. That includes the skin that's called your scalp, to the skin that's on your nose, your eyelids, underneath, your neck, your décolleté, and your lips. Very important, because it gets sunburned too. So what am I doing? Well, I'm going to take this brush, which from what I understand is supposed to help chisel the cheeks. It's called the cheek chiseler. I'm not sure. Again, I'll put the name somewhere here. So since it says that, I'm going to try to add my bronzer to it, just for fun, just for laughs. Da da da. Or no, I'll just do that. Okay. So in case you're wondering what the bronzer is, it's the Rimmel Natural Bronzer. Now I have a ton of other bronzers, but it's whatever I find, and that's what goes. And I like this one. I do. Has that, also has that smell. It kind of reminds me of like dabbling in my mother's makeup in a way. This has what they used to call a clean scent. Ironically, back in the day. I don't know, but yeah. This is just to warm up my face so I don't look like, I don't want to scare anybody. For a long time, like, I was not really into makeup as a kid. Like, the one thing that I loved, and I think I've said this story before, is lip gloss. Like, I wanted lip gloss so bad, like those flavored lip gloss that had that scent. Had to have it. And my parents didn't really have a lot of money, but I also knew better than to ask for a lot of things. So I was pretty low maintenance, but this lip gloss, I just could not let it go. All the kids had one. I had to have one. That was it. So luckily, I was able to get one, and I treasured that. It was like a rare diamond, you know. And that I think was my first introduction. Well, my first introduction to makeup was actually my first memories of my mom. Like she had these bottles of Chanel on her makeup stand bureau. It had this beautiful mirror, and I would just be fascinated looking at these. And when my mother would get ready, I would smell the scent and go, "Oh wow!" It just seemed mysterious, mystical, and the alchemy of what it meant to be a woman through me watching my mom. I was like, what, a year and a half, 2 years old? That's probably like my first introduction to makeup. So, as I mentioned, this time of year I get kind of sentimental. The daylight gets shorter, it gets colder, and I don't know if I think I also get like that seasonal thing where if there's less sunlight, then I start feeling kind of introspective, and I become more inward living, fully in the world, or just contemplative, lost in thought, which is the worst thing you can be when school just started. I just started school. I finished my first week. I'm like, okay, I could do this. 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 I know I can. I like. It just gets a little harder with each time I go back. It does. Okay, it's an Elf Oldie but goodie. I don't even know if they make this anymore. I just love this pink. I don't see it. Okay, I'm just using this then. It just gives me that natural, I know I featured it before, that I love it. It's like a perfect pink in a way, without not being too, but at the same time, I'm still loving it. And I know the thing is, oh, we don't grin and put it on. We try to put it up here. I'm like, you know what? Whatever works for you. Because not every face can take blush being sitting on a certain part of the face. It just doesn't. It depends on some factors. It could be the shape of your face, whether or not you have cheekbones or not, that type of thing. When I say whether or not you have cheekbones, I know everybody does for the most part. It's just whether they're pronounced or they need work to bring them out. But then in order to do that, I suggest instead of blush, you should use bronzer or contouring. That probably would work better. But yeah, I really like this. I like this. You know me, I'm not really big on a lot of makeup, but I do love blush. I am at that and a nice bold lipstick, and I am happy. But gone the days where I could just wear that and go out the door. I have to prep my skin first, moisturize it, make sure it has SPF, make more of an effort to remember that, because for a long time I didn't wear SPF. I wear a hat, but I wasn't wearing SPF as much as I should. So I'm really trying to make a conscious effort, especially when this was some years ago. I think I mentioned this too. I was on a trip, and this was and I remember asking these older ladies, like, what's one thing that you would tell your younger self if you could? And they said, wear the SPF. And I was like, really? Not like, oh, don't make that decision or do this better with your money. It was wear SPF and drink water. I was like, okay, got it. Because this one thing I can do is drink water and apply an SPF. I can do that. No problem. Yes, ma'am. So, okay, now that I got that, I'm breaking out my e.l.f. This is the Halo Glow setting powder, which I haven't used in a while. Not sure why, but like all things, it just is what it is. So weird that I say that. I hate saying that. It's such a defeatist thing. But there we go. And with the same brush, I am and see it kind of diffuses a little bit the blush, like, so if it's a little too strong. So yeah. So speaking about being sentimental about life and about your own life and the things you remember from when you were a kid, and how much your mind has changed from the age of, 10, then 15, then 22. Um, I was always a thinker. Like, that was my thing. I like to think and contemplate that. I mean, you'll see pictures of me deep in thought or looking at a book and really being engrossed in it. I miss the days when I could just sit and have that kind of discipline and focus to read a book, like several chapters, or even finish a book. I miss those days. Ever since going to school, like going to college especially, my reading comprehension has drastically changed. And what about you? Are you in college? Let me know in the comments below what you remember about your college days, or if you're currently in college or even high school. Let me know in the comments below, because to read for pleasure is not something I have done in the past several years. It's like I try to tell myself, I've actually not broke down like mentally. I mean, I signed up and got Kindle, and I got audiobooks and Audible. I have both to listen to while I sleep, while I'm doing chores around the house. I just thought that I would have more time. And I think that's what a lot of people think, oh, I wish I had more time. It's 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, 365 days, give or take, in a year. We have to make the time. Oh, I'm using, what is this? This is Benefits Bounce mascara. Now with the weather changing, I'm noticing my allergies are starting to kick back in. Not good. It poses a challenge to talk because I could feel the pollen going into my mouth and down my throat. This is for eye prep. I heard it was really good. I've used it a couple times. It hasn't blown me away, but then again, I haven't worn a lot of eyeshadow in I don't want to say a long time, but it's been a minute. There are years where I was like, I gotta put it on. Oh no, see what I mean? Oh, I should have let. So now the bounce is very wet, and you have to let it dry. Brilliant. Okay. Now people have ways to, get rid of that, but it's just amazing. Like, at the end of the day, like they say, it's just makeup. So I just take a little bit, not that much, and that's a lot. And I just, this is just to prep the area. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. It also brightens it a little bit, which is nice. Yeah. So a little tube like this could last you. Now, I'm going to use this again from Culture Couture. And I found this oldie but goodie. Do you guys remember this? This is the Dominique Cosmetics. This was I think this is called the sweater palette, I called it. That's what I used to call it, the snug palette. The snug sweater palette. But I could be wrong. I barely use this. Look how pretty that is. I tend not to go hard on my palettes. I really don't. I mean, some people do because they really want to dig and, you know, they have their reasonings, but I'm like, no. So I'm going to go in with this pink first. It even has a mirror. I forgot about that. Look at how pretty this is. This is so soft. It has pigmentation, don't get me wrong, but oh, look at that. It's so pretty. I was never one to go in, as I say, really hard on my eyeshadows. And if they're good, they will work. Like, they will not stay in the palette. The whole point of them is to, oh, it's such a nice soft wash. Look how pretty that is. Now, meanwhile, while I'm doing this, having a trip down memory lane with some of these products, I have, you know, thoughts and just thinking about even music from the past that I remember listening to. Just, that looks nice. I would say that's pretty decent for someone who hasn't worn like full-on heavy makeup. I am going to, because you know, we can't help ourselves, I'm going to go back in and apply a little bit more of the e.l.f. powder just to sort of, oh, look at that. And there it is. Oh my goodness. That's really, really pretty. So yeah, so much for me getting to the point. That is my so-called rambling video. So thank you for joining me on my latest makeup adventure, Ramblings Musings. Take care of yourself, stay safe, stay hydrated, and I hope to see you on my next video. Take care. Bye. Oh, and don't forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell. Okay.